standing today, so bring yourselves up. So bring your feet together, take your toes out to 10 and 2, level them up, and then just soften your knees. So we're going to do 45 seconds on each exercise, 3 exercises in a row, and then a 15-second rest, so it gives us a chance to go into the next one. So the first lot is our warm-up. So when he counts us in, we're just going to be doing our arm circle. So bring your arms up to shoulder height, keep your hips still, and you're going to start to circle. So one arm, and then the other. So really nice big circles. If you can, keep your eyes on the hand that's moving. You're circling one way and then the other. Turn that up. So as we're doing this one, we're just going to start to introduce the breathing. So you're inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your mouth. If you want to, you can change direction with your circles, or you can just keep going here. So there's no rest in between exercises, or in between the 3 anyway. So our next one, you're going to go down into your squat, stand up, and then lean to the side. So it's one squat, and then a side bend. So when you're doing your squats, send your hips behind you, so like you're trying to push your bum through a letterbox, and then leaning to the side. So just work with your breathing, so inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your mouth. Oh, that feels so nice. So keep having a little check on your knees, so they're not coming in or out, they're staying in line with your toes, and bum is going back behind you. So just go as far as you like with the leaning. So finish up on this one. So last exercise here, you're going to exhale as you lift the arms and the knee, and inhale as you bring it back down. If it's too much doing the knee, you can do just the heel instead. So you can lift like that instead, whichever one feels best for you. Just make sure that your hips are staying level. You're going to exhale as you float them up, keep your shoulders away from your ears, inhale as you bring them back down. So we've got a really short rest after this one, and then we're going to go down into our roll downs. So it's exhale, lift, switch those tummy muscles on, and keep that balloon on your head, so lifting up nice and tall. That's it. Let him count down to finish up on the one that you're on. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so take yourself to the back of your mat. So you're going to have your feet underneath your hips. We're going to be doing our roll down. So what I want you to imagine is you're trying to pull your spine down one vertebra at a time. So stand nice and tall at the top. Take an inhale, and then as you exhale, let your chin come to your chest. Fold your shoulders, hollow your abdominals, and start to round down. Keep a little bit of softness in your knees. Inhale when you stop, and then exhale, stack it back up, but keep your chin tucked in until you get to the top. So it's exhaling to go down, so chin to chest, fold the shoulders, hollow the abdominals, and start to round down towards the floor. You can go as far as you like, or just keep it a little bit smaller. Just make sure you're not locking your knees out, and you keep your head nice and heavy as you're rolling back up. So I'm going to give you the option to add on things for this one. If you don't want to, just keep going with the roll downs. So it's exhaling down. If you want to add on, we're going to start adding in the walkout as well. So you'll roll down to your toes. Inhale when you pause, exhale, walk out. Inhale in your plank position, and then exhale, walk it back up. Again, keep your head really heavy when you get to your toes, and then stack it back up nice and slowly. So again, if you don't want to do that one, just stick with the roll downs that we're just doing. So it's chin to chest as you roll down. Always take an inhale when you pause, and then you're moving on your exhales. If you need to bring your knees down to your plank, that's fine. When you come back, send your hips up and towards the ceiling. Final thing to add on if you want to is the press up. Again, if you don't want to, just stick with what you're doing. If you're going to do the press up, rather than holding the plank, you're going to do like a narrow press up. So elbows tuck in, you're coming down and pushing away. So you can have your knees down and do it from there. That's fine. And then walk it back up. If that's too hard or you just don't want to do it, just stick with your roll downs and you walk out. So if you are doing the press ups, really tuck those elbows in nice and tight. And keep your neck in line with your back. You're going to get a little rest after we finish these ones. When you do this last one, finish on your mat, so bring yourself all the way down. Have a little sit back into your child's pose. We're going to be in tabletop position next. So if you bring your hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips, we're just going to start with our cat-cow stretches. So I want you to round your spine up towards the ceiling and then drop your belly button to the floor. So you're inhaling one way and exhaling the other. So rounding one way and then the other. So make it as big or as small as you want to make it. So we're going to add in the Superman arms in a moment. So gradually try and find the middle point between the two extremes. So you're trying to find your neutral spine in the middle. And then lengthen through your spine. So pulling from the top of your head in one direction, base of your spine in the other. You're going to exhale as you slide one hand forward. Inhale, bring it back, and then alternate sides. So we're not overreaching. So I don't want you dropping your shoulders. So it's exhale as you slide the hand forwards. Inhale as you bring it back in. So your little finger stays touching the mat the whole time. So imagine that tray of drinks. What I don't want is you reaching and having to twist your back. So draw that tummy in. Make sure you're breathing. So your final exercise for this one, we're going to add in the legs as well. If you don't want to, you can just stick with the arms. So when he counts us down, you're going to take opposite leg and opposite arm out.
Exercise 3.
You slide, so toes stays touching the floor, fingertips stay touching the floor. So it's exhale as you slide them out, inhale as you bring them back in. Really brace your tummy muscles, make sure you're not rounding or arching your back, and keep the back of your neck nice and long, so you're looking down in front of your hands. And really brace your core, make sure you're breathing, so you're never ever holding your breath. So it's exhale as you slide away, inhale as you bring it back in. That's it. So keep going to the end on this one. Keep drawing that tummy in. Remember, if it gets too much, just go back to the arms.
Take a 15
So finish up on the one that you're doing.
In 4, 3, 2, 1.
And then take a really quick breather. That's hard to say. So roll yourself over onto one side. Doesn't matter which side because you're going to do the other one next.
Get ready.
So lay yourself out straight. Rest your head down onto your arm. Make sure you can see your toes when you look down. If you need to, you can have a bend in that bottom knee. We're going to exhale as you lift the leg. Inhale as you bring it back down. So the thing to watch for here is that you're not rocking forwards or backwards. And I want you to imagine you've got a corset on, so draw it in so it lifts up your lower waist. You can either have your hand down here or on your side, whatever feels best. Good job, so keep drawing that tummy in. Don't worry about coming up super high because that'll make you drop your hip, so just keep it a little bit smaller. You're going to test your coordination next. So bring your top arm up, so as the arm comes down, the leg goes up. So it's leg down, arm up, so you've only got one in the air at a time. Remember again, if this one's too much, you can either just do the arm or just stick with the leg, whatever feels right for you. So inhaling through your nose, exhaling through your mouth, so keep it really controlled. How's those legs feeling? So exhale as you lift, keep drawing that tummy in, so keeping the corset switched on. The final option is really challenging, so if you don't want to do it, you don't have to. It's going to be both legs lifting. So don't worry about it doing it just yet, wait for him to count down. So if you want to, you could bring your arm back down and you could do both legs lifting. Or if you can and you want to, you can do arm down, legs up. If you don't want to do that one, just stick with what you were doing. That's fine. So if you are doing the double leg lift, obviously don't try and come up too high, just keep it really small. So still inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. So this is our last one on this side, and then we're doing all the same things on the other side. So inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. Make sure you're not rocking into those hips, they're staying nice and still, and that corset's switched on.
Take a 15-second.
Let him count down.
In 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well done. Okay, let's roll over. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So line yourself up along your mat.
Get ready.
Rest your head down onto your arm or your cushions, whatever you're using.
Exercise 1.
Make sure you can see your toes. Bend your bottom knee if you need to, and it's just the leg to start with. So exhale to lift, inhale to lower. So switch that corset on and making sure that you're breathing. So again, don't worry about your leg coming up here, because if you do, you're probably going to dip your hip and drop your hips back. Sorry, your waist, not your hips. So keep it a little bit smaller. So exhale to lift, inhale to lower. Keep drawing those tummy muscles in. So if you need that little bend in the bottom knee, you can. The next one to add on is the arm. Oh, my legs are sore now. So exhale up, inhale down.
Exercise 2.
So bring the arm up if you're doing it. So as the arm comes down, the leg goes up. You can still keep that bend in the bottom knee if you want to, or you can straighten the leg if you want to make it a bit more challenging. So make sure you're breathing. So inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. So keep it really nice and slow and just work with your breath. So keep that corset switched on, so it's going to help with your balance. So it's arm down, leg up, and vice versa. So make sure you're not ending up doing this. So the final exercise for this one is to add in the double leg if you want to. Remember, if you don't want to, just stick with what we're doing. And you can get rid of the arm if you need to.
Exercise 3.
So if you want to, you're doing the double leg lift as you bring the arm down
2.
and then down there. If you need to, you can bring that hand down and it's lifting and lowering there. So again, making sure that you're not twisting your hips forwards or backwards, and you're keeping that lower waist lifted off the floor. So remember, your option if you want to is just to stick with what you did for the second exercise. Let's see what we've got next. So we've only got 3 more exercises to come. Sorry, 3 more rounds to come, not 3 more exercises. So inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. So double legs if you're doing them.
Take a 15.
So finish up on the one that you're on.
In 4, 3, 2.
Well done. Okay, roll over onto your back. We're going into shoulder bridges next. We're basically doing every Pilates exercise today, I think. So we're going to have your feet close to your bum, hip width apart. Just rest your arms down by your side.
In 4.
So you're going to inhale. As you exhale, tip your pelvis back so you flatten your spine, and then start to peel your spine off the floor. Inhale when you get to the top, and then as you exhale, try and lower down 1 vertebra at a time, starting from the top of your back, so the back of your pelvis goes down last. And then same again. So it's exhale, tilt the pelvis back. Squeeze your glutes, push into your heels, lifting up into your shoulder bridge. You can come all the way up or just part way. Inhale when you pause, and then exhale, try and lower 1 vertebra down at a time. Keep an eye on those knees, make sure they're not dropping in or out. If it feels like it's going to cramp in the back of your legs, just walk your feet away slightly. Okay, option here if you want to is to add in the arms. So you roll up, float the arms up over your head. Inhale as you pause. Exhale, start to round the spine down first and then let the arms follow. Remember, you can always just stick with the first option if you want to. So tilting back as you exhale, let the arms float up and over your head. Inhale in your shoulder bridge position, and then exhale, start to round your spine down first, and then let the arms follow. So really focusing on that spine. So you're trying to lower 1 vertebra down at a time, and then peel 1 vertebra at a time, coming back up. The last thing we're going to add onto this is a heel raise at the top, if you want to. If your legs are going to cramp, don't be started doing this one. So with or without the arms, you come up. As you inhale, you lift both heels off the floor, lower them back down, and then round down and bring the arms down. So if you want to do that without the arms, you can do. So you'll round up. As you inhale, lift the heels, place them back down, and then roll back down. So again, really nice and controlled. Work with that breathing, and keep that corset switched on. So it's exhaling up, float the arms if you want to. Inhale, lift the heels. lower them back down, and then exhale to round yourself back down towards the floor. So again, just really work with that, bringing one vertebra down at a time.
Take a 15-second rest.
Let them count down to finish up on this one.
3, 2, 1.
Well done, bring yourselves up. So the very last round is a stretchy one, so this is our last hardish one. So bring yourself into your seated position.
Exercise
Take hold of the
1.
back of your knees and sit as tall as you can.
In 4.
So you're going to exhale as you tilt the pelvis, tip the water out the back, round back into your C shape. Inhale as you pause, and then exhale, scoop it back up and sit as tall as you can. So you're sort of holding onto your knees but not gripping on, they're just there for a little bit of support. So exhaling back, inhale, pause, exhale, come back up. So we're going to be rolling back in a moment, so make sure there's nothing behind you that you're going to bump into. So again, remember with this one, if you need to, just stick with this option. I'm getting heat blasted right into my face. It's quite toasty, but it's a bit much. So the next thing we're going to add on is a leg lift. So don't worry too much about when you're breathing, just make sure you are always breathing. So you're going to round back, lift one leg and then the other, lower them back down, and then scoop yourself back up. So really important to be rounding your spine. So rounding as much as you can, turn that spine into a C shape, float one leg and then the other. Notice we're not pulling them up. Lower back down, and then sit back up. So you're still doing your inhaling through your nose, exhaling through the mouth. Just don't worry too much about when you're doing which one. So we're going to be rolling back on our next one. If you don't want to do this one, just stick with what we're doing. Don't worry if you get stuck either, I promise not to laugh too hard.
Exercise 3.
Okay, so you will round back, really round that spine, lift one leg then the other, keep rounding, rock back. Little pause, and then lower the legs and sit up tall. So the thing with this one, don't carry too much speed. So lifting one leg then the other, keep tucking. Keep roll, back up. So if you go back with too much speed, you're going to come up with too much as well. You're not going to be able to keep your feet off the floor. So rounding back, keep tucking in, roll like a ball, back up, and then lower the legs and sit tall. So once we finish this one, we've got a little bit of mobility and then that's us done for the day.
Take a 15.
So finish up on the one that you're on.
In 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, so roll yourself onto the floor, so laying on your back. You're going to take one ankle on top of the other knee.
Ready.
Let the top knee drop out slightly.
Exercise
Arms out to the
1.
side. And you're just going to gently rock side to side. So it's exhale across,
1.
inhale to centre,
Last phase.
and then exhale the other way. So keep your shoulders glued to the floor. Too close to this fire now. So it's inhale to centre, exhale to twist. If you want to, you can look away from your knees. So really glue those shoulders down. So by that I mean you're not letting them lift as you go across, so keep the shoulders on the floor. So we're still working our abdominals. We should be getting that nice twist into your spine. This should feel really good if you've been doing a bit more sitting than normal the last few days. Notice how I said sitting and not sitting and eating.
Exercise 2.
Okay, switch legs.
In
So
4,
take that one down, bring the opposite one up,
2, 1.
drop the knee out to the side, and then same again. So exhaling across, inhale to centre, and then exhale the other way. So keep those shoulders down and just work with your breathing. So exhaling across, inhaling to centre, and then exhaling the other way. So our very last exercise, not an exercise, we're going to be doing our child's pose. This gives you a chance to have a little bit of a relax.
In 4,
So take yourselves over, take your knees nice and wide, toes touching, sit your hips back first, and then you're going to creep your fingertips forward so you get that stretch into your shoulders, and then just hold it there. So really creep those fingertips forward so you feel a stretch all the way up the side. If you want to, you could walk your hands across to one side, so you get a stretch more up one side of your body, and then across the other way. or you can just hold your stretch, whichever feels nicest for you. So really just let those hips melt back towards your ankles and reach those fingertips forward so you're getting that lovely stretch. So still focusing on that breathing as well, so inhaling through your nose.
2, 1.
And you're done.
You've reached the end of your workout.
Well done.
Well done.
Let me just stop it before it gets some like hardcore HIIT one that comes off on after this one. Yeah, we don't want that going. It's not going to help with the relaxing. So hopefully you all enjoyed that one. If you want to carry on doing a bit more stretching, feel free. And I shall see you for our next one. Let me just stop the